It was a cold and misty evening when Ollie, a curious and adventurous 12-year-old, arrived at his grandmother's ancient house in a quiet, forgotten village. The house was a massive structure made of old, cracked bricks, its walls covered in climbing ivy that seemed alive in the dim light. It was the kind of house that whispered secrets with every creak of the floorboards and every sway of its rusty gates. Ollie's parents had sent him to spend a few weeks with his grandmother, hoping the change of scenery would keep him entertained during the school holidays. Grandmother greeted him warmly at the door, her smile kind but her eyes holding a mysterious glint. She gave him a quick tour of the house, pointing out its many quirks and cautioning him about its eccentricities. Finally, they stopped outside a door at the far end of a long, dimly lit hallway. The wood of the door was old and scratched, and it had a large iron lock hanging from it. "This room stays locked," Grandmother said, her voice unusually stern. "It has been that way for decades. No one goes inside, Ollie. Do you understand?" Ollie nodded, though his curiosity was already piqued. What could be in there? He imagined dusty furniture, forgotten treasures, or perhaps even an old library filled with ancient books. But the way Grandmother had warned him sent a shiver down his spine. That night, as Ollie lay in bed, the wind howled outside, rattling the windows. He tossed and turned, unable to shake the image of the locked door. What was behind it? Why had
Smash the
Grandmother
like
been
button.
so serious?
Why would you not subscribe?
"Who's there?" he managed to whisper, his voice trembling. The room answered with silence. Ollie stepped inside, his feet moving on their own as though drawn by some unseen force. The air was icy, and his breath fogged up in front of him. On the floor, he noticed faint footprints leading to the chair, but they weren't his. The rocking chair suddenly stopped moving. Ollie's eyes widened as a faint, ghostly figure began to take shape. It was a woman, her face pale and sorrowful, her eyes filled with an emotion Ollie couldn't place. Fear? Sadness? Regret? Why are you here?" Ollie stammered. The figure's lips moved, but no sound came out. Instead, Ollie felt a voice inside his mind, soft yet piercing. "The room holds memories, painful ones. It is not safe for you, child." Ollie wanted to run, but his legs felt rooted to the spot. "Who are you?" he asked. "I was once the keeper of this house," the figure said, her voice echoing in his head. "I made a mistake, a terrible mistake. Now, I am trapped here, guarding this room, so that no one else suffers as I did." Ollie's throat felt dry. What mistake? What happened here? The ghost's face darkened. "Curiosity, my child, can be a dangerous thing. Do not seek answers to questions you are not ready to understand. Leave before it's too late." The rocking chair creaked again, and a shadow began to rise from the far corner of the room, a darker, more menacing presence. Ollie could feel its hatred like a weight pressing down on his chest. Terrified, Ollie turned and bolted out of the room, slamming the door shut behind him. He raced back to his bedroom and dove under the covers, shaking uncontrollably. The next morning, he told his grandmother everything. Her face turned pale, and for the first time, she seemed truly frightened. "You went into the room?" she whispered. Ollie nodded. Grandmother took a deep breath, then sat down beside him. She was trapped in that room, and the spirit she summoned remains there with her, angry and vengeful. "Why didn't you tell me?" Ollie asked, his voice shaking. "Because some things are better left forgotten," Grandmother replied. "That room is sealed for a reason. Promise me you will never go near it again." Ollie promised, but the memory of the ghostly woman and the dark shadow lingered in his mind. That night, as he lay in bed, he swore he heard the rocking chair creak once more. Would Ollie's curiosity keep him away, or would the mystery of the room call to him again? Some questions are best left unanswered.
Smash the like button. Why would you not subscribe?